Hello everyone, thanks for dropping by. No doubt you've all seen that Jaguar advert that's been roundly mocked all over YouTube and the internet per se. Now I've decided to have a look around to see if I can join the dots if it has some sort of effect on the MGTOW scene, i.e. if Jaguar has been affected by the MGTOW effect. What you see on the screen is the Jaguar XJ, how Jaguar used to advertise their cars. That under the bonnet there is probably the 4.2 litre AJ V8, which was problematic. It was designed in the 1960s and the cooling system was giving it lots of problems as they used to use plastic parts and instead of aluminium. Now you can see the beautiful young lady next to it. That is how Jaguar used to sell the cars, not that advert that we've seen. In fact, if you're an American and you look at all the car adverts from the American past for all the American classic cars, Oldsmobiles, Pontiacs, Buicks and all that, you would always see a sexy American lady advertising the cars, not that advert that we had. So Jaguar wants to move away from old white wealthy guys who can afford a Jaguar and appeal to a younger crowd, i.e. the modern audience who can't afford a Jaguar. So it's going to fall they're going to fall flat on their face as the sales are going to go down to nothing and the company is probably going to be sold off. As Jaguar's even got rid of the growler on the front to a double J, which looks like it could be placed on a handbag. Now, I've been having a look around and I found, next, this demographic buying is for leading car manufacturers on the side of the road. Now, if you drop down, the share of new vehicle retail registrations by age tier. Jaguar wants to sell cars to this group and this lower group, but as you can see, it's only 9.2% of this age group can buy cars, but the only people who could buy Jaguar cars are this group, which Jaguar wants to move away from, 26.4%. It says the 68 million households in America can buy a car, 52 million households can buy new cars, which would probably be this area, and 60 million households don't buy cars. I bet the demographics which Jaguar is aiming at via the advert is in this category. And if you drop down, 60.2 million homes, new vehicles purchased, buying through rates 4.7, and this one 21.6 million homes in America, 2.6 million new vehicles purchased. And then we got just yada yada, but it was just this which is relevant to the MGTOW effect. Going back to this, demographics of car buyers. If you drop down, most of the cars being bought in America tend to be SUVs. Now Jaguar's going to launch an all-electric SUV, a £100,000 luxury sedan, and probably a lower-end sedan. It's all electric, but that's not going to sell in America because by sheer purchasing power, United States of America is the world's biggest market. And Jaguar needs to have a substantial sales income from the Americans, but they're not going to get any sales because, as you can see, Americans don't want electric vehicles. Because if you drive from Los Angeles to San Francisco, it's a 381-mile drive. It's 6 hours. To give you an indication how far that is, from Carlisle, just south of the Scottish border, to London, it's 308 miles. So from San Francisco to Los Angeles is virtually the whole length of England. From Los Angeles to Las Vegas, you're still looking at 270 miles and a 4-hour drive. Now, no electric car is going to be suitable for that, because between Los Angeles and San Francisco, you have a myriad of gasoline stations where you can stop, fill up the tank, and on your way in less than 10 minutes. But anyway, back to this. As you can see, new SUVs by age group. There's the 65, the people with the money. There's the 55 to 64, and there, age 24 and younger is only 1%. That is the demographic which Jaguar is aiming at. Now, the Jaguar, they want to change the brand into a lifestyle brand, but even homosexual guys on the comment section on YouTube videos, they just say that even they say this advert is retarded, when the advert is predominantly aimed at their sexual demographics. So Jaguar is on a hiding to nothing, and it's going to go downhill. If you drop down, it says average income secondary to affordability concern with new car buyers. And car ownership by age, there again, 24 and younger, that the Jaguar's after. That's the money, and this is the age group that actually do own Jaguars, 26%. This is probably older, multiple Jaguar owners that have started buying a Jag when they were in this age group, when they could afford it, because Jaguar has always been an expensive car. And the Duke sedan, once again, you can see the percentage of the age groups. This is the main aim that Jaguar used to buy cars, but this is the age group that's going to abandon Jaguars, because I've heard that lots of Jaguar owners, both here in Britain and in America, are now getting rid of their Jags because of that advert. Now, you got the new electric vehicles. This, as you can see, 25 to 54. But if you drop back to this, Tesla is the only electric car vehicle which has really made an impact on the car market, because Tesla is the only one which went from electric from the word go. There's another one called, what's the name of it? Lucid Motors in America. Now, they're having poor sales. It's a well-made car, but Americans just don't want it, and they prefer a Tesla. As you can see, Tesla's market capitalization is $700 billion. That's why Musk is the richest man in the world. And then demographics, we've covered before. Income, once again, the Jaguars have always been an expensive car. The luxury sedan that they're going to do, all electric, is $100,000, but this will only be in this group, which is this age group, and this age group that Jaguar is not moving towards. They want to get away from them. And then we got down new battery electric by household. The $75,000 to $99,000 per year, only 4%. So it's a tiny market that Jaguar is aiming for, but that advert shows nobody in this age group or this income group that they're appealing to. Only a tiny fraction of the population via the sexual nature of that advert. Now, EV owner demographics. It says a study by the University of California, Davis, shows that in California, people with income of over $150,000 per year purchase a third of electric vehicles, but most of them, I should imagine, are Teslas. Plug-in hybrids, but look at this, the $150,000 per year. Not many Americans are on that sort of income, which is 10%, 1% of the US population. as surprisingly, that is the percentage that more than women are wanting to get into and get the guys that's in there. But as you all know, guys and that sort of income per year have got options. And then we get vehicle ownership by gender. There's more men buying cars than women, but it says SUVs, sports utility vehicles. New sedan bought by gender. Once again, more men are buying cars than women. Trucks, naturally, more men buy trucks than women. And here's new electric vehicles by gender, males 75 and women only 25% buy electric vehicle. But the Jaguar wants to move away from old men, so apart from the sexual demographics, they're not going to get many sales from women because, as you can see, only 25% buy them, and guys don't want to buy a electric Jaguar when they can buy a car like that, which is advertised at them by having a woman like that advertising it, what it used to be instead of that advert. And then we go ownership. Most new vehicles own their own home. Once again, a large percentage. Tesla owner demographics. You can look at that yourself later. And then in-market new vehicle buyer audience. And then that's just people looking for a new car, the audience. Diesel vehicles, hatchbacks, hybrids, luxury vehicles. The Jaguar is in this category. And pickup trucks, 1.1 billion, sorry. And then that's their article. And actually put these below. And finally, I to round it off this one, but if you click on Find and Jaguar, get rid of that. That's the only mention of Jaguar in this entire article. As you can see, luxury, only 5% of cars on the market are in luxury cars, includes brands such as Bentley, Merc, BMW, Audi and Lexus. Now Jaguar is up against the Bentleys, the Mercs, the BMWs and the Audis and the Lexus. But Jaguar wants to move away from the people who can afford Bentleys, Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Audis and Lexuses. And as you can see, electric, all EVs accounting for just 7.9% of new vehicle registrations. In 2023, there were over 3.5 million EVs registered across all 50 states in America, and Washington, California, Florida and Texas has the highest rates of EV registrations. Musk has opened a giant factory in Texas making Teslas, so you can say that Jaguar isn't going to make any impression on the American car market because of the distances that the Americans have to travel from A to B. Doesn't warrant getting an all-electric Jag when they can afford a Bentley, a Merc, a BMW, an Audi or a Lexus. So this shows the ownership of cars. This is the demographic that advert is aimed at, that they don't buy cars. This is the one-car family in America that can't afford a Jaguar. This one probably doesn't really want a Jaguar, but this one could afford a Jaguar, but there's no interest. Plus, the company doesn't want these customs from this area, this demographic. Now you're wondering why Tesla is owned by an Indian, but not Tesla, you daft bugger. Why Jaguar is owned by Tata. You will recall that Jaguar was originally owned by the Ford Motor Company, but the 2008 banking crisis nearly bankrupted Ford, so Tata Motors offered Ford $3.2 billion for Jaguar to offload it, and Ford being Americans, thought this is too good an offer to turn down, so they offloaded it to the Indian company Tata. And the result is the Jaguar brand has gone downhill and will soon be extinct. Ford also owned Aston Martin. Now, they also got rid of that because it wasn't indicative to the Ford Motor brand. Now, Aston Martin is doing well, and people who could afford a Jaguar will be now buying an Aston Martin because that is the demographic and the income which is synonymous with that make of car. Over here in Britain, Jaguar was always looked at as a bank manager's car, and they had a reputation on the movies as a bank robber's car because it was faster than the police cars of the day. Now, Jaguar did move away from the old man's image, but that advert shows that they've completely lost the plot and they don't understand the brand loyalty and the demographics of people who actually can afford the cars. Whereas if they'd stuck with this type of design, internal combustion engine, instead of going all electric, and advertise it like that, as you can see, Jaguar has it spelt correctly, and there's the Leaper, they might have a chance of surviving. But that as it stands, they're not going to get anywhere because this age group and the top age group here are the only people who can afford that car, and this age group that they're pandering to can't. I think I'm well over the 15 minutes now, so I'll have to leave it at that. Sorry it's a bit iffy, people, but that advert has just been dominating the news all over YouTube and the internet this last few days, so I decided to do a video about it. Anyway, you know what the routine is now, people. Like, dislike, etc. It's completely up to you. So until next Monday, that's it for this one. Bye-bye.